Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV,
Studies show that if you tap
ProChargeEV.com.
a coworker on the shoulder with
Sorry, didn't know that audio was on there. All right, LSU basketball gets throttled by Alabama, no surprise. Pels, really disappointing road loss at Milwaukee. A little bit of a surprise. And how about Corey Raymond with his first massive get since returning to LSU? And that's where we will begin. On Saturday, LSU landed a commitment from Jaboree Antoine. And if you're not familiar, Antoine is from Westgate High School, New Iberia. Corey Raymond's from New Iberia. Kayshawn came from Westgate, you might remember. So he is a consensus 4-star. On3 ranks him as the number 19 overall player in the country. ESPN has him 47. Rivals has him 83. 247 has him 129. So 24/7 Sports has him the lowest. So when you look at the composite, his national ranking, the composite is number 45. So he's a top 50 player in the country for 2025 in the composite. Obviously, as far as cornerback, the numbers in the composite, the number 7 cornerback in the country. On3 has him as the 3rd best cornerback in the country. ESPN 6, Rivals 10, 247 19. So anyway, as high as the 3rd best corner in the country according to On3. 6'1", 170 out of Westgate, and another gigantic commit for the class of 2025 as LSU is stockpiling one of those types of all-time classes already. And he gave Jaboree Antoine, after he committed, gave an interview to ESPN and said, I'll read 2 lines from this for you. Antoine said it was the return of defensive backs coach Corey Raymond to LSU after a year at Florida that helped push things over the top for him. Quote, Raymond said he really wants to lock up opposing wide receivers, so I know with everybody in that LSU building, I would fit in that scheme great. So, you get Corey back, and like that, you land a top 50 overall player in the country for 2025 as a cornerback from your state, when you missed on a top 50 cornerback from your state for the class of 2024 in Ward Elmack. So, yeah, man, LSU continues rolling for the class of 2025, and I know it's hard to put yourself in the mindset of thinking of the 2025 class because we haven't even had the 2024 season yet. So it's like, 2 years before you see these guys play in a game. These are rising juniors in high school. So, I'm sorry, these are guys that just finished their junior year. So they'll sign next year. But Bryce Underwood, number 1 player in the country. DeCorian Moore, 5-star, number 1 receiver in the country. Harlan Berry, 5-star, number 1 running back in the country. Jaboree Antoine, 4-star, top 50 overall player in the country. And that doesn't even include Keelan Moses, who's a 4-star, J.D. LaFleur, who's a 4-star, Teron Francis, I'd add Nakar, who's a 4-star wide receiver. Jalen Bell out of Georgia, who's a cornerback that they've got committed already. So 2025, man, they are rolling. And Jaboree Antoine is the latest. But you give a hat tip to Corey. It's why you brought him back, man. It's, you will have elite talent in your secondary with that guy running the show. That's just what he does. Okay, let's say some good mornings. Y'all fire away. LSU basketball gets crushed by Alabama. Look, we shared this number Friday on AFR. LSU in its last 25 appearances, going into yesterday, in its last 25 appearances at Coleman Coliseum, 4-21. LSU doesn't win at Alabama in basketball. They don't. They just don't win there. So, I mean, that goes back to 1998. LSU's 4-25 at Coleman Coliseum. Now 4-26. So, and it's not like Alabama has been this dominant basketball program over the years. I mean, they're good right now with Nate Oates, but anyway. So LSU basketball loses. Told y'all the grind is here for LSU basketball. They can win. You've got to get the ones that you can get. And this week you play Arkansas at home. You got to get that one. I mean, Arkansas is 10-10 overall. They're 1-6 in the league. You beat them last year on your home floor. You got to beat Arkansas at home. I mean, you've lost 3 straight now. A&M, Georgia was a heartbreaker, and then the Bama game. You play Arkansas, then next weekend you're at Tennessee, home against Bama, at Florida. You're not winning any of those. And then you're at South Carolina, who all of a sudden decided they wanted to be good. They were picked dead. South Carolina was picked dead last in the league, and South Carolina right now is 5-2. They're third behind Bama and Tennessee. So, I mean, if you don't get this one against Arkansas, and then after the South Carolina game, you're home against Kentucky, then Mississippi State, which is winnable. But my point is, if you don't get this one against Arkansas, you're potentially looking at 1, 2, 3. You're looking at a potential 9-game losing streak, if you don't get this one against Arkansas. So you better go get this one against Arkansas this week. Okay. Jacob Thompson, Chris P., Jaleel Dean, good morning, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Said 2025 class is insane. How about 2026? Yeah, so Jaleel, the actual crazy part about 2026 is 2026 is the year in Louisiana where 3 of the top 5 players in the country are from Louisiana. Actually, 2 of them are from Baton Rouge, and one's from New Orleans. So, yes, 24 was a great class. 25, you're building a potential number 1 class. And then 26, the number 1 player in the country for 26 is Jakeem Stewart. He's a defensive lineman out of St. Aug. The number 4 player in the country is Blaine Bradford, the safety out of Catholic, who missed most of this season with an injury. And then the number 5 player in the country is Lamar Brown, the offensive lineman from U-High. So 3 of the top 5 players in the country are from Louisiana. 2 of them are in Baton Rouge, and one of them went to St. Aug, where Frank Wilson went. So you've got a really great shot of doing what Georgia has done, what Bama did, which is stockpiling number 1 or 2 classes, boom, on top of each other. Now, getting them to campus. Once they're here, retention, obviously all that's key. Supplementing through the portal. But the way that Brian Kelly is building his roster, in my opinion, and we'll see if it plays out this way over time, in a roster. And look, in 2022, you hit on all those defensive backs. You hit on your transfers. In 2023, you didn't. So if you can build through the high school ranks and then supplement through the portal, that's going to be the best way to build sustainable success in this era. But the question is going to be retention. You build these great high school classes, how many of them stay? And I think that's why it has to be built more on relationship scheme, playing time, et cetera, instead of just NIL, because we saw that happen at A&M a few years ago, where they paid to get the greatest high school kind of signing class ever, and a year later, half of them were gone. So that's the balancing act, right? You want to get these great high school players, but you want to get them and keep them. So how do you do that? Well, sometimes you get lucky, like the fact that the state of Louisiana in 2026 has 3 of the top 5 players in the country. Maybe that helps because they're local at home. Okay. Montreal Cage, good morning, Larry Garner, Russell Doloff, Eric Reynolds, Pels need a new coach. I don't know that I'm going there, man, because a week ago we would have been uh, we'd have been not having that conversation. And I think Willie Green is fine. I think this Pelicans team is trying to grow up, man. You know, like I know that sounds maybe like excuse making, but um, this team has. Well, hold on. First and foremost, you're 26-20. You're leading your division. Okay, so let's be clear about that first. You're 26-20. You're leading your division. You didn't have Zion on Friday night when you lost at home badly. But he was back last night and played 29 minutes. Let's see, 23 points. It's 2 boards. That's the problem. The real problem this team has had is they have struggled to beat the teams at the top of the West, or in this case, with Milwaukee, at the top of the East. But that's really been their problem. You lose to the Bucks, you lose to the Thunder, who are the number 1 team in the West right now. You blow out the Jazz, you lose to the Suns, you beat the Hornets. Disappointing loss to the Mavs you should have had, but then you beat the Mavs previously. You lost to the Nuggets, you beat the Warriors, you beat the Kings. You see my point? Like, look at your losses. I mean, your losses are to the best teams at the top of the West. So they've just got to figure out how to compete with the best teams in the league. And I think that's a maturation thing. I don't think your coach is the problem. Kyle DeVille, good morning, Matt. God bless. Hope y'all are good. What teams are you looking for at Super Bowl? Looking at for the Super Bowl, I wouldn't mind seeing Ravens Lions. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be a Raven. I'm going with the home teams. I think it's Ravens Niners, and I think Lions are a really public play. I think everyone's pulling for the Lions, and the spread is a touchdown. But honestly, I think this game goes like. I think this game goes like that 2006 championship game with the Saints when they tasted it for the first time, went up to Chicago and got blown up by Rex Grossman and the Bears. Really good defense, a team that was at home. It was just new for the Saints, and it just didn't go well. I think that's probably what this is. So I like the Niners, and I like the Ravens. Tony J, Austin Kidder, Cody Kebido, good morning. Hotel booked for Vegas in September. Bit surprised Gage Jump is slotted for the starting rotation coming off of Tommy John. Would have thought it would be Lower or Ack. But I mean, Cody, he had the surgery like 18 months ago, so he should be fine. And they like him a lot too. That's a transfer from UCLA for those that don't know. And Lower is supposedly a lefty for the transfer from Xavier, will be coming out of the bullpen. And Ackenhausen is really a bullpen guy. It was last year. How are we feeling on Bussy? Is he committing in February? Yes, he's signing in February. Talking about Terry Bussy, who's the 5-star at A&M, who took a visit to LSU and is looking around after the last staff was fired. I don't know, man. I don't have any inside info there. But you read the tea leaves. It sure seems like he's going to stick with his A&M commitment. But it'd be huge if you get him. Steven Oob, that's cool. Old Hornets long sleeve, yeah. I think I've told you this because I wear this like as a sleep shirt. I think I've told you this before. On our first Valentine's that we were dating, Erica gave me tickets to a Hornets game and this shirt. So that would have been 2000 and... Let's see, we started dating in August of 2009. So Valentine's would have been February. It should have been February of 10. She gave me this in February of 2010. We went and watched the Hornets play the Magic. Dwight Howard of the Magic, and the Magic won. Still remember where we sat and everything. It was great. Wendell Norman, Shane Big Fella, Crawfish Etouffee. LSU is going to be killing it. I smell national championships. Von Bluesman, what's going on? Ralph Schaefer, Turd Ferguson. I don't know about Matt McMahon. When does he need to show success before he's fired? Yeah, I feel like I answer this question every time LSU plays a game. Last year was a total punt. It doesn't count. I mean, it counts, but you need to block it out of your memory. They've already improved this year over last year, and you're ignoring, not you, just you, plural, you can't ignore what he inherited. Again, like, there's a reason LSU gave Matt McMahon a 7-year contract. He got a 7-year contract because nobody wanted this job. You had the threat of sanctions looming over your head. Could have been postseason ban, could have been scholarship restrictions. Nobody knew what they were inheriting at the time they took the job. So you had to give him that type of security and longevity. So they gave him a 7-year contract. This is the only way you can get anybody to take the job. And last year was atrocious because, again, 2 weeks after Matt McMahon was hired, you had 0 scholarship players. He had to completely rebuild a roster. But now that all of the Will Wade stuff is passed, the NCAA has closed the book on the LSU basketball investigation. Like, you can start to move forward, and he's got a couple of studs committed for next season or signed for next season, and they'll start to get their portal stuff together. And let's see. I mean, the fact that they've already got more conference wins now than they did a year ago. Nice road win against Texas A&M. God, I mean, really should. You were a box out away from beating Georgia the other day on the road. So, you're not going to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. But, they're better than they were a year ago. You just got to be patient with them. Kelly Groves, Truax, what's going on, man? Kirk Taylor, Bruce Parker, good morning. Yeah, it looks like Cortez Hankton is staying. So this is a big question yesterday. So Raheem Morris got hired as the Falcons head coach. They had requested an interview with Hankton for the Falcons OC job. Well, Zach Robinson got the job. I think as a lot of people anticipated. So Morris was the DC with the Rams. Zach Robinson was the passing game coordinator. And so Raheem Morris gets the job in Atlanta. He brings Zach Robinson with him. So it would appear, you connect those dots, that Cortez Hankton stayed. Kirk, what about this 16-year enrolling at LSU? Supposed to be a good quarterback. How can that happen? You're talking about Colin Hurley. It's not that surprising. He reclassified to a year to graduate school a year early. Super smart guy. One of the most impressive high school athletes I've ever interviewed. But physically, you got to come along, man, for sure. Bubba Smith, Debbie Jenkins, David Tolson, Michael Cook, Thad Landry, Jeff McKithen. Good morning, y'all. Moon Caves, good morning from Denver. I love our coaching staff. No doubt they will recruit, coach at an elite level. They understand the dirt. I hope NIL can complement and get those recruits to come and stay. Thad Landry, I just bet myself, Matt, 2 bourbons and a good rice and gravy meal today. Hopefully I win. Very nice. Matt's going with the NFL Super Bowl theory. What's the NFL Super Bowl theory? I don't know. Dylan Landry, good morning. Tony Williams. The high school guys, Coach McMahon recruited are studs. Yes, like the high school class, the recruiting class they have coming in for next year, he's got a couple of studs in there. You just have to give him time. Like, I know it's hard to do, but you have to almost imagine as if last year didn't happen. Room 40, please smash the like button if you would there on YouTube. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. As always, shout out to Brock and Hudco. If you need an orthopedist, Brock's the best. Remember, the Brock Clinic in Hammond. Keep telling y'all if you're in Tangipahoa Parish. I said it really fast at the time, so you couldn't tell if I said the A. And Tangipahoa Parish? Was it Tangipahoa or Tangipahoa? But if you go like Tangipahoa Parish, could have been in there, don't know. Brock. And HUDCO, Room 40, let's go. I'm glad Coach Raymond is back. It was upsetting for me to hear all of the negativity coming from LSU fans and media sources surrounding his name before the hire. He will prove them wrong. Again, I have no idea where that was rooted. But like that had to start somewhere, message board, something, I don't know. But I got wind of it because whenever Corey got let go at Florida, that day I went on air and I was like, bring him home now. And we cut that up into like a short, and put it on Instagram, Reels, Shorts, YouTube, all that stuff. And so when we post that, and then I go read the comments, and there were people in the comments like, he's washed up, don't want him back, blah, blah, blah. His defense the last couple of years. I'm like, is this for real? Like, I couldn't believe it, that there was actually that component of the LSU fan base that didn't want Corey Raymond back. But this is why you do. Russell Doloff, Brian Claus, Taz, good morning. Will the Saints lose out on the top OC? They keep adding names. Taz, I think that's the big thing, right? Like, how desirable is the Saints' OC job? Yes, it's one of 32 offensive coordinator jobs in the NFL. So, they're going to, so yes, there's going to be interest and it's going to go. But if you're talking about like Zach Robinson's a great example. The Saints interviewed Zach Robinson. Maybe they wanted to hire Zach Robinson, but I guess in his mind, Atlanta with Raheem Morris was a more desirable location than New Orleans with Dennis Allen, who could be a lame duck coach, and Derek Carr, who is, despite the fact that some of you fans don't want to acknowledge it, quarterback. So, and what does Atlanta have a quarterback? Don't know. They're probably going to draft one or trade for one. So, anyway. So, I don't know who the Saints are going to get as OC, but like they interviewed Dan Pitcher. Well, Cincinnati promoted Dan Pitcher. They interviewed Shane Waldron. Waldron took the Bears job. The idea to go there, even though Matt Eberflus is there, you're either going to have Justin Fields, you're going to draft the number one player in the draft. You're going to take Caleb Williams. There's more desirable spots than New Orleans. Make defense great again. Morning, Matt. Isn't it crazy that next year LSU could have 2 Heisman-winning starting quarterbacks in the NFL? Yeah, that's not too crazy. Oklahoma has that with Baker and Kyler Murray. I'm going to guess maybe just that, if your thought is that just that it's LSU. Alex Day, let's talk some baseball. Biggest concerns for this team. I just think it's what do you do in the middle of the lineup? Who is going to emerge? You lose Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan off of last year's teams. You got Tommy White back. And yeah, you lose key veteran guys as well. Dugas, Beloso. But, the most obvious question is, you lose Paul Skeens at the front of your rotation and you lose the best player in college baseball. How do you replace that production? It's not going to be one guy. Like, you're not going to have one guy have a season like Paul Skeens did. We may never see a year like that again. He broke Ben McDonald's 35-year-old strikeout record. It's and did it in fewer games. So, in innings pitched. So, anyway, obviously, those are the big glaring obvious ones. But I think you have more depth in your pitching staff this year than you did a year ago. Jude Sands saying, good morning, Matt. The string of stupid questions and your responses had me rolling laughing yesterday. Vaughn, Austin Thomas seems to be good hire. Ole Miss has seemed to have benefited from him. Austin's great, man. Austin, there's a reason that he continues to be sought after by top programs. his ability to organize a roster. I mean, Austin made it known like his goal, at least it was 8-9 years ago, was to be an NFL general manager. I don't know if that's still his goal. I haven't asked him that in a long time, but he kind of functions like that, right? He can build a roster, he can build a recruiting board, he can manage how you spend your NIL dollars, all that sort of stuff. Tony J, 2027 in Louisiana will also be strong. Louisiana class, top 5 in 23, 24 on 3. Should have top 3 next 3 years. Do you mean 2026? It's 2027. You're talking about guys that are freshmen right now. Because I don't even think they have ratings yet. Rex, good morning, Matt. BK is building a monster. Starting to see how Notre Dame was able to be so consistent for so long. With Bama out, LSU is the destination. The interesting thing about it, though, is the timing, though, Rex, because you do have Texas and Oklahoma coming in, and Texas just made the playoff, and now coming into the SEC with Quinn Ewers back, spending a lot in NIL. Texas and Georgia. I mean, I don't think Georgia's going anywhere. So, Georgia is cemented. It's going to be interesting how much of a foothold Texas can get. Was that a flash in the pan this year, or can they maintain it? Zachary Snyder, more Matt Kelly coming to get him to campus. Austin keeps him there. Eric Reynolds' lineups are not consistent. He can't get BI to buy and take threes. Oh, jumping back to Pels. Go JRB. Sorry if you mentioned any plays on the championship game today. So y'all know my drill, man. I'll listen to Jimmy's show. So I'll lock into Jimmy House Football Sunday, 11:20 Central Time. It's when the picks start coming. So I'm going to listen to see what Andy Isco and Paul Nolan, and then what Jimmy all have to say about it. I did listen to Randy McKay on the podcast earlier this week, and he was keeping an eye on the total for the AFC Championship game. But I can't remember which direction because he was expecting it to move, and so I'll go back and look at it. And then Randy had a lean toward the Lions in the NFC Championship game, but I'll see what everybody else says. I get why there's value, right? When you're getting a touchdown, but I think the Niners are when the Niners play their best, I think they're a dramatically better team. So we'll see. Rick has Thomas Knockan, Tony J. What about Will Herring? Johnson last year mentioned he would eventually be a weekend starter. Speaks of the depth of the staff. He hasn't mentioned top 5 right now. I think you also have to keep in mind, like year to year, and I'm guessing you mean Griffin Herring, right? The lefty. I think you combine Will Helmers and Griffin Herring. So I'm guessing you mean Griffin Herring, the lefty. Herring last year, I think with Herring, you can see the stuff is there. He's got to develop a little bit, but like in Omaha, when like the game against Wake, I'm looking at his line right now. When he gave you 4 2/3 of 3-hit shutout baseball, right? Like that's the ability that he has. But then, we also saw him. We saw him against Oregon State. And he went 3 innings. Well, that's not the one. He had a blow up. Where was it? Oh, there it was. It was the Kentucky game. Gave up 7 runs in an inning and 2/3. I mean, I think part of that is just growing up and maturing. But yeah, but when you go get Luke Holman out of the portal and Gage Jump out of the portal, you got two guys that are legit Friday night guys behind Thatcher Hurd. They may fall in whatever order, but Hurd, Jump, Holman, all three are on like the Baseball America top 50 juniors in America list. So that's my point, I guess, is you just have way more depth on this year's staff than you had a year ago. You had your ace at the top of the staff, unlike you've ever had before. But after that, remember, like Ty Floyd wasn't super consistent. It wasn't until later in the year. Thatcher Hurd didn't really emerge for you until the postseason. Remember they used Thatcher Hurd last year in every role. He started weekends, he started midweek, he tried to relieve the middle relief. They tried to use him as a closer. They tried him in every role possible, and then finally late in the season, it started to click for him. So, you didn't have great depth a year ago on your staff. Now they pitched great when they needed to late in the season. But this year you undeniably have better depth, which is why a guy like Herring you may not be hearing as much about. Taz, is the NFL rigged? ESPN slipped up advertised Niners Ravens at this year's Super Bowl. Taz, if the NFL is rigged, you wouldn't be watching it, man. Come on. Anthony Guglieluzza, morning, Matt. Didn't expect much from the basketball team this year. Same old crap from last year. Until we get a proven coach, it will be mediocre. Yeah, except Matt McMahon is a proven coach. He's a great coach. And when you make comments like that, you kind of just expose yourself as not knowing what you're looking at. So you got to get players is what you have to get. You can't win without talent. And the fact that they've already outpaced their SEC win total a year ago is kind of astonishing. All right, look at Peter Fenner. Shout out to Scott at Hudco helping us on some projects in New Orleans. All right, Peter, appreciate you, man. Yeah, Scott, except that he's a Longhorn. Scott's a great dude, man. Works really hard. So thank you for the shout out. Yeah, y'all, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Lawrence Burley, good morning. Just hydrating a little. Coffee and water. Rex, good morning. Montreal Cage, Matt, what do you think of the Saints OC prospect from the Texans? Yeah, so Gerard Johnson, who was talked about him a lot this week. He played quarterback at A&M, got into the NFL. He started coaching through the Bill Walsh diversity program. So he started with the Niners. So his first coaching opportunity was in San Francisco with Shanahan, and then was with Frank Reich in Indy, and now is in Houston. And we talked about him with Sean Salisbury this past week. I would highly recommend, if you missed it, to go check that out, because Sean does radio out of Houston, and he's one of the smartest quarterback people that I know, Sean Salisbury. And so he talked about the role that the quarterback coach played, and Gerard Johnson played, just the role that the quarterback coach plays, and then the role that Gerard Johnson played in C.J. Stroud's development this year, which had me very optimistic. So I think I could really get behind that. It would be interesting because I think Derek Carr would be older than Gerard Johnson, or they would be about the same age. No, Gerard Johnson's like 35. Carr is 31? 32. Carr's 32, Gerard Johnson's 35. Big Easy 504. Morning, Matt. Looks like our new hires for LSU football are making immediate moves. Corey Raymond with his new signing. Bo Davis just offered D lineman, Garden City Community College. They're on their way, man. Told y'all yesterday, man. LSU is going to add 2 interior defensive linemen for this coming season, for 2024. Finish strong. Prayers up. Lamar Jackson can save us from an insufferable Taylor Swift Super Bowl coverage. So first of all, I know this because my wife's a Swiftie. Taylor Swift is playing, I think in she's playing overseas somewhere, like either the day of or the day before the Super Bowl. So I think it would be unlikely that she could get there. And number two, I have a problem with you finish strong. I don't understand. Like that girl had done nothing to nobody. Like, she's in a relationship. She is going to support her boyfriend the same way that Sierra goes to Russell Wilson's games and Giselle went to Brady's games for all these years. Nobody said nothing about that. What's the problem? She's going to the games. She's not like trying to be front and center. She goes through, the private entrances of the stadium. She's always polite, waves to fans and stuff. Never doing anything that is a ooh look at me type nonsense. What's the problem? I don't get it. What's the problem? Why do people have a problem with her going to football games? And said, I don't think it hurts the coverage. I think Emmett said that. I don't think it hurts the coverage. Like, so they flash cameras to her in the suite after Travis Kelce scores. So, like, how's that any different than when you watch a game and they show people's parents in the stands? Like, what's the problem? Like, I don't. Thank you. Bo said people complain about her has gotten tiresome. I agree. Like, shut up. Who cares? Like, this woman's there supporting her boyfriend. She's a celebrity. They put her on camera. That's no different than any I watch the Astros play. You know what they do all the time? They put Kate. What's her name? Hi. When Verlander pitches, Kate, you know what I'm talking about. The swimsuit model. Kate Upton. Okay. Okay. If you need, bring to daddy. Okay. So, like, why is that okay? Kate Upton goes and sits right behind home plate. So she's always on camera. Like, y'all ain't got no problem with that? Like, I don't understand, man. Like Taylor Swift don't need my sympathy. I mean, she's worth $1 billion and the biggest star in the world. But I don't get the whatever, y'all. I don't get y'all complaining about Taylor Swift. Like, so as a Travis Kelce scores as a 5-second cutaway of her celebrating in the box. Okay. The exact murder giraffe. Taylor Swift exists that game. Losers, red-faced. Like, exactly. Like, shut up. They ain't ruining your experience because they do a cutaway to Taylor Swift in a suite. Last Sunday, my wife went to her friend's house to watch the Chiefs playoffs game because of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, because they're both Swifties. Erica made a tray. I should post this picture. She made a fruit thing, and she put like yogurt down and then did strawberries around the edge and then made an 87 out of grapes. My wife don't know nothing about the Chiefs of what. Like, she's sitting there telling me yesterday, that they have that ref. That ref of the game that always goes to the Chiefs or goes against the Ravens. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. But she's locked in. Like, that should be the thing, if anything, that bothers you more. But who cares if people come to the game and they care? And Taz, I know what you meant about the graphic for the Super Bowl, but graphics are always done before the Super Bowl, and you never know who the graphic editor is. It's like the shirts are always printed before the end of the game, so you have to have it for the end of the game. So sometimes it happens, man. Like, we do that all the time. We make promos. You can make like 2 different promos for any eventual outcome that can run. So you plan for the eventuality is what you do. Mac 34, dang, Corey Raymond hadn't even had his suitcase down before he landed an elite recruit. Tony, Raymond has a 5-star safety from Florida coming to visit, doing work quickly. I told y'all the day he got hired, so that was whatever, last Thursday, I kind of randomly bumped into a staff member on Friday, and Friday morning, and we're talking about Corey coming back. And this person was like you never left. Him and Frank Wilson were up at football ops 9 o'clock last night calling recruits. I mean, it's what you're gonna get. Robert Brantley, good morning from Corpus Christi. All right, Trivia Carter, good morning. Armstrong Grappling, if you start going through the lineups, you won't find but a handful that are better than LSU. Compared to last year, yes, we're down offensively, but we have far less questions than most teams. Are you talking about football? Yeah, I think here's 10,000-foot view of LSU football as of right now for 2024. Offense will take a step back, but will still be elite. So you might not be the number one offense in the country. I think you'll move the ball, you'll score, that's fine. Can Nuss protect the football is probably the biggest question on offense. And then defensively, how much better can you be? Like you can't be as bad as you were, but I don't think you're a top offense in the or defense in the country. You haven't really added the talent that would dramatically improve your defensive performance. You have to play better. You still have to get better on the interior of the defensive line, which I've told you they're going to add 2 players. You added Jair Brown at corner. What did J.K. Johnson and Zy Alexander look like coming back? Did any of the young guys get better? You did get better at safety. You added 2 safeties in the portal. I would really like to see them add a veteran linebacker. Greg Penn, Whit Weeks, West Weeks, Braithwaite. I don't know if that's enough on the at inside backer. We'll see. Cameron Shull, good morning. Hugh, good morning. Matt, a while back I asked what you thought about the collective's new leadership. You mentioned you would know more after you had lunch with some of the leadership. Just curious your thoughts after. Yeah, that happened several weeks ago. And I think it... I guess I had 2 big takeaways. Number one, I think LSU is in an okay spot as far as money on hand, the money raised, etc. But I think it also validated some of the real issues why LSU has been behind. And actually, Hugh, I did the day that I went and had that lunch, I did a long segment on NIL with some of that info rooted in there. And as I recall, it was like the first segment of the 5 o'clock hour that day, which I think was a Wednesday. I would highly recommend you go back and watch it on YouTube. Gotta remember the day. I could find the day very easily in my calendar on my phone. My phone is right there, broadcasting us. Anyway, but yes, the goal is to average more, to engage more of the average income fan base. So this was the biggest, LSU has 3 high-level donors to the collective. 3. Let me say this. LSU has 3 7-figure donors. 3. And there's roughly 24 people that are essentially funding the collective. That's it. And that's a real problem, because if any one of those people decides, I'm not going to give this year, or I'm going to pull back significantly, then you're in a lurch. You mentioned Ole Miss. So Ole Miss and Auburn have really done a very good job of marketing their collective to the average fan that's giving. So if you look at Ole Miss's collective, or if you go to Bayou Traditions, right? So LSU's collective is Bayou Traditions, BayouTraditionsCollective.com. They have 3 options to where you can donate monthly: $20, $50, $100, and that's what they're trying to engage. And LSU, as of the time I had that lunch a few weeks back, had 300 people donating monthly. 300. Ole Miss was between 6,000 and 7,000. Auburn was at about 3,000. That's the biggest difference. So one of LSU's real sincere pushes is, how do you market and engage your average fan that can give $20, $50, $100 a month? And if you do that with thousands of people giving, well, now all of a sudden you're in a much more stable place, because you're not as vulnerable if one of your big donors decides, I'm not going to give this year, or I'm cutting back what I'm giving this year. So that's really the charge. Now, the problem is LSU hasn't really structured its collective independently. What I mean is, remember, the collective operates independently of the university. Like, the university doesn't have that the collective isn't a function of the university or the athletic department. It can't be. It has to be an independent thing. So, there's still a lot of ambiguity about whether or not, say, TAF could absorb the collective. And the hope is that the state and federal law will allow for that, or NCAA rule will allow for that. But as of right now, it's separate. So it's kind of like they're in a holding pattern with how they operate. So there isn't a paid staff running the collective. Like, a lot of what Bayou Traditions does is outsourced through Matchpoint, right? So the collective hires Matchpoint. So Mackenzie Landry does an awesome job making sure that all of the deliverables are executed and sort of stuff like that it functions and flows. But you don't have anyone marketing the collective. You don't have necessarily people who are full-time, their job is go raise money for this collective. They hired Brent Cunningham, if you remember last year. They hired Brent Cunningham to be the guy that was going to be the full-time fundraiser, the president of the collective and the fundraise. And Brent was here for 6 weeks, whatever it was, and then was gone for whatever reason. Didn't fundraise, didn't work, didn't like it, did structure, whatever, it was gone. And so they still don't have anybody doing that. So the people that are kind of running it day to day are doing so on a volunteer basis. So when I guess my point is, when something is that vital, right? As vital as NIL is to your success in 2024 in college athletics, when you don't even have someone who is full-time, this is their full-time job, is running your collective, like, you can see how that's a problem, right? And that's, it's just so odd. I mean, NIL went live July 1st of 2021. We're coming up on 3 years now. And that's what I keep saying. I know a lot of LSU fans don't like when I say that. And my point is that it's, some of what I'm saying is getting misinterpreted, because some people think, oh, Matt's saying LSU doesn't have money. It's not that LSU doesn't have money. LSU doesn't have an endless faucet of money just streaming out that will never stop. And the past few years have been expensive, and they haven't been organized in NIL. So it's not to say you won't ever get wins, but there are other places that have been more organized and are having more success as a result. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some insight into the collective. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel there on YouTube. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscone page, share the post. Appreciate y'all. Murder Giraffe, good morning. Nubberts Nuggets. Is the other lefty not named Riley Cooper still on the team, or did he graduate? I guess you're talking about Nate Ackenhausen. Yes, Nate Ackenhausen is still on the team. Robert Potts, good morning, living in Georgia. Heard a rumor that Kirby might have interest in the NFL. Not overly sourced, but curious. He's admitted he thought about retiring 2 seasons ago. Thoughts? Robert, I brought that up to one of our Falcons guests that was on AFR a few weeks ago, because that word is out there that maybe Kirby is kind of getting the itch like Nick did when he went to the NFL. Maybe doesn't love the NIL portal culture. I think that's going to be true for a lot of coaches that don't love NIL, portal, all that stuff, and so they're going to find something else to do. Falcons would have made a lot of sense for Kirby, but I don't know anything beyond that. Other than that, I did hear that Kirby might have interest, but clearly that never went anywhere. Gerard Guillory, didn't Edo try to hire Detroit's head coach, not Matt Campbell, Dan Campbell, in 2020 as D coordinator? Or am I thinking of somebody else? You're thinking of Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen, who is defensive lineman with the Saints, who Edo recruited out at USC, who had also been at NC State. So Nielsen, the Saints blocked Nielsen's interview. He became Saints defensive coordinator. This past year was in Atlanta as defensive coordinator, and then he just got hired. Did he get hired by the Jags? Yeah, and then just got hired by Jacksonville to be their defensive coordinator. Danny Braywick, well, we've gotten to the point where people complaining about Taylor Swift is worse than the few times they show her. And I don't mind them showing her at all. Short draw whitetail, what's up? That's all the comments about. Russell said, Matt, she might love football. So the thing about Taylor Swift, said she didn't love football. I guess she grew up in Philly, and so maybe your family Eagles fans. I saw on the New Heights podcast with the Kelceys that Travis Kelce, when he met Taylor Swift's dad, Taylor Swift's dad, played college football. I think he said Hawaii, started Hawaii, maybe transferred to Delaware or something like that. Interesting. It was interesting. Will Davis, Haley Van Lith hit a 3 the other night and they showed her dad. Exactly. Like, they kept showing her dad running up and down the stands. That's exactly the point. Like, that's part of the game, is you want the human element, human interest. So, anyway. Strong side, I'm here for the hat and koozie. Kelsey scores a touchdown. I'm celebrating my prop bet. If I could chest bump Taylor, I would. Short draw whitetail. Matt, you should recommend a whiskey at the beginning or end of the lives. Okay. I mean, I have a lot. And the thing that's, I guess, kind of tricky is everything I have over here, most everything I have over here is all allocated, meaning you're not going to walk into a store and find it on the shelf. Some of the stuff you will. But everything, top 2 shelves for sure. A lot of that, some of this. That's the tough part. So I can recommend it, but good luck finding it is kind of the thing. Japan, that's it, Merrick. She'll be in Japan. So Taylor Swift's going to be in Japan for the Super Bowl. She's restarting her tour. He said, I only know this because I have 2 daughters who thought I could pay for a trip to see her in Japan. I have a wife who expects the same thing, by the way. Like when Taylor's in New Orleans next year, I think she's doing three nights of shows in New Orleans at the Superdome. I mean, Erica is expecting to be there. And I'm like, I mean, I looked at the secondary market, like the get-in price is like $1,000. If you want to sit in the upper deck, it's like $1,000 a ticket. You want to sit down low, it's like $3,000 to $5,000. I'm going, why? I mean, what? Like, why? Can we just watch the concert on TV? Like, they got the movie. Go to the movie theater and watch it. She's already done that. Make defense great again, Matt. My wife is the same with Kelsey and Swift. Before Taylor Swift, she could have cared less. Now she enjoys watching games. It's what brings her to football. I'm all for it. Jonathan, no, not a huge Swiftie fan, but her being at the game is attracting a new audience. NFL is going to benefit from her being there. My wife has fallen in love with the Kelseys this season. And the Kelseys are great. Like, you know who I think this has benefited the most is Jason Kelce. Because I don't know that people realize this. Jason Kelce is a 6-time All-Pro center. He will be on like the All-Decades team, and he is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, Jason Kelce is a Hall of Fame center. But I don't think people really knew much about it. Like, Travis was the tight end on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls. And look, I know in 2017, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but that storyline was more about Nick Foles, the Philly special, all that stuff. But Jason Kelce has been one of, if not the best center in football for more than a decade. And I don't think people really knew that. And this has shown a whole new light on him. And not just him as a player, but his personality and all that sort of stuff. And I think it's been a major win for him. And rightfully so. Jonathan sorry, I just read that one. Tiger Diver, what's up? EJB praise. Respectfully, emphatically speaking, I understand what those who want to see football at a football game. I get frustrated when they cut away to show the commentators. Morning from KC. Look, man, so much of putting on a broadcast is showing the person at home everything they're not seeing at the stadium. And so, like, the director, and I know this because Mark Grant, who many of you might have heard me talk about. So Mark Grant is a good friend, graduated from LSU. He is a director for the NFL on CBS. He also is now, this was a big deal last year, because he's now the director of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Mark went to LSU, was there at the infancy of Tiger Vision back in the 80s. And so I've just had a lot of conversations with Mark about this over the years. So the director, a lot of people may not know, the director is the one who is deciding what you see at home. When they switch shots, right? The director is the one saying, go to camera 2, go to camera, switch to this, hold, pan that, go out. Like, the director is the one who is determining what shots you see. So the director is the one saying, go to Taylor Swift, right? Go to this, well, whatever. And when you have all of these different cameras and angles and shots and experiences and everything with the emotion of the game that goes along, you have to tell the story. You have to paint that picture. So a big part of it is, yes, it's the game. It's crowd shots. It's getting the emotion from the crowd after something happens. It's, yes, family, loved ones, the announcers in the booth showing the audience what that looks like. I mean, that's part of TV. Otherwise, it'd be radio, which I love. It's theater of the mind. But yes, I have no problem showing the announcers in the booth. The announcers are part of your experience. I mean, you're welcoming those announcers into your home to tell you the story of the game. Ryan Stadler, morning, Matt. Yesterday, watched the morning show late. Overheard you talking about LSU helmet fonts from past. I really like the 05 helmet font with the Louisiana symbol on the back. Like the silhouette of the state. I do like that. Let's see. Short draw whitetail. What was the website again? The collective website is BayouTraditionsCollective.com. BayouTraditionsCollective. Well, I guess I could just put it in. There. Let's post it. Murder Giraffe. You convinced me. I'll run the collective. Jason Horn, what's going on? I did not get the core purple SPs. I didn't love them, Jason. I didn't love them. Wayne Blanchard, good morning. Rick Manuel, good morning. Listening from Lake Charles. Kyle Robert, good morning. Barry Day, what's going on? People find it easier to hate. Supporting your people should be a good thing. Amen. Barry Day, who wins the Super Bowl? Yeah, I think Baltimore, man. I think Baltimore's the best team. Christopher Hedgeland, more Matt. You might have already went over this. Any sanctions on LSU for Keyshawn betting on games? Christopher, I don't know. But I don't think so. If LSU were like, or players were, if there was like a, if they were throwing games, then I think that would be different. I think this is more going to reflect specifically on Keyshawn and not on LSU, but I don't know. I'm telling you very candidly, I don't know. Quentin Breakbill, what's going on? Brent Roban, how are you? Realistically, do you think with this elite defensive staff, the defense can scratch top 50 within one off season? I think that's the goal, Brent. I'll remind you that Blake Baker did that at Missouri. They were like 118th the year before he got there, and then they went to like 40th. So I think that really is your end. If your offense can still churn and score 32, 35 a game, and your defense can improve to be a top 50 defense, then you should be a playoff team. I'm not saying you're going to win the national championship. A lot of that's, luck of the draw, how the ball bounces sometimes. But could you be one of the top 12 teams in the country getting that playoff? Yeah. Tony, Jalen Reed, Tyrell Ward, Mike Williams are young and extremely talented. That's true. I like Williams too, man. I like his moxie. Like, you need that guy that's unafraid to have the ball in his hands with the clock winding down and wants to take the final shot. He's that guy. I like him a lot. Scott Harrington, some of the issues outside of marketing is LSU fans probably have an impression money isn't an issue because of national coverage LSU gets for NIL. Maybe, but the thing with LSU is the success that its athletes have had with NIL nationally has nothing to do with LSU. What I mean is it has nothing to do with LSU paying them. It's Olivia Dunn saw a moment when TikTok was becoming a thing and she was posting slow-mo videos of her doing backflips in a bikini on a beach and got millions of followers because a bunch of, high school boys thought she was pretty and followed her, right? And I don't mean to minimize Olivia Dunn with that, but that's what happened. Y'all know I was on TikTok in 2019. I've kind of been more ahead of the game with social platforms and posting on them. But that's what happened. And so she took advantage of them smartly. And she has grown her brand tremendously beyond that, obviously. And has done an amazing job. But there was a moment. That had nothing to do with LSU. She very wisely took advantage of that moment. Angel Reese. Now look, she was playing for LSU and helped LSU to a national championship. But the organic thing that happened after You Can't See Me, Kate and Clark, that was this perfect collision of circumstances that allowed her to have a viral moment that took her from well-known women's basketball player to international. Her Instagram following did a 10x in one day. She went from 100,000 followers to 1 million followers in one day. It's incredible, Jaden win the Heisman. Flau'jae is known because she's a rapper. That had nothing to do with her playing basketball at LSU. She was known before. So I guess my point is all that'll take care of itself, but what about the defensive end that you're trying to keep in school or the portal kid you're trying to get? Well, I'll tell you this. I think I might have mentioned this yesterday. LSU made very healthy, I think I did mention this yesterday. LSU made very, very healthy NIL offers to Mason Smith, Mekhi Wingo, and Brian Thomas to come back for another year. And all three left. So that's a lot of money. A lot of money. That's combined with those three over 7 figures that they had allocated for those three guys had they come back. And they didn't, so they got that money to spend. And I think they're going to spend it. They're going to spend it on the defensive line, too. Convincing someone to run a collective in this NCAA climate is crazy, as quickly as rules are changing, and with how guidelines there were, it's like asking someone to walk through a minefield. So, except that the NCAA has done this. I mean, I know they're going after Florida for the Jade Rashada stuff, but, I mean, in a very literal sense, NIL was never supposed to be pay for play, and you have guys like Matt Rule out there saying it's $1.5 million, $2 million to get a starting quarterback with absolutely no repercussions. So the other thing too is, I'm telling you, there are athletic departments that are preparing for what many feel is an inevitability of rev share starting in 2025, as early as 2025. And that will change college sports more dramatically than NIL did. Because if you go to a revenue share, remember, very few athletic departments actually make money. Like LSU ends up in the black every year, so we think that that's normal. That's not normal. Even in Power 5, it's not normal. If you start to if athletic departments are already losing money, and now you're taking more revenue away and giving it to the student athletes, then you're cutting expenses elsewhere, which ultimately means you're going to end up cutting sports. And I think that's what's going to happen because of Title IX. I think you will end up cutting more sports. And you could see a day where you end up with football, basketball, baseball. Like, and that could be it. Like, those could be the only men's sports. I mean, all of the non-revenue sports could end up going away. Because think about it, man. Like, even think about gymnastics, for example. In gymnastics, they pack the PMAC. It's a fun sport. I'm a fan, all that stuff. But when they go on the road 10 times a year, whatever it is, they fly on a private plane. They stay in nice hotels. They get their meals paid for. All the stuff, right? Equipment, everything. Gymnastics loses like $3 million a year. Well, if all of a sudden now you're taking revenue and giving it to student athletes, is gymnastics still going to fly private? Or are they going to be on a bus? You going to stay at the nice hotel in downtown, or are you staying at the La Quinta? You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden college athletics, major college athletics, can look more like minor league baseball, where everything's done on a budget. If you start, I'm telling you, that's going to be the net effect until ultimately they just cut sports. It's like, okay, we'll pay you. Here you go. Now, here's your key where when you go out of your room, you're outside. Danny Braywick collective should consider a cheaper rate. Could get more people to buy in at $5 or $10. Danny, $20. Come on, man. Like the cheapest you can get it at $20. $20 a month. If you don't have it, don't give it. That's fine. But the problem is they can't market it. They can't market it in large part because everybody's trying to pull from the same donor pool. I remember TAF. It's like Matt Borman, who's the head of TAF. Matt's job is like he is held accountable because he has to reach certain fundraising benchmarks every year. And imagine if you're TAF and your job is tied to fundraising, and now there's another, group trying to pull from your donor pool to give them money. How are you going to react to that? That's the tricky part, man. It's hard to get them all to play in concert with each other. Juan, good morning. Will you be playing the new NCAA football video game? No, I haven't played a video game probably since like 1994, so no. Scott Harrington, yeah, you can do a one-time donation, any amount, and you can choose the sport it goes to. That's the other thing. All the coaches go, like Jay Clark is trying to fundraise for gymnastics. Kim Mulkey fundraises for women's basketball, NIL. Jay Johnson fundraises for LSU's baseball NIL. Yes, they all go tap into their supporters or donor base to give to that sport specifically. I remember we talked about that with Jay Clark on the Rosters the Riches pod last year. I wish Taylor Swift was dating a Saints player. Christian, LSU just posted a cryptic message on their social media that says, historic announcement coming soon, with a picture of Louisiana with overlaid text saying, we build championship teams. Any idea? It's on Twitter, like LSU football. Not football. It's just like LSU. Oh, LSU follows me on Twitter. That's good. Historic announcement coming soon. We build championship teams. No, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Or maybe I do, and I just don't know what they're alluding to. I can ask. Let's see. Big homie Ja TV, what up? What moves do you think the Pelicans... Whoops. What moves do you think the Pelicans need to make? Defense been reminding me of LSU football this past season. I don't know, man. I don't think... Look, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't know that your big issue right now is a personnel issue. Forever, we talked about how the Pelicans, during all the AD years, how they had to find a small forward and they had to find shooters. I mean, I guess, I know you're asking about defense, and I would say, I guess I would want more shooters, but I mean, because in the NBA, you can never have enough shooting. And probably another athletic rim protector. I love Jonas. I think maybe what they'd hoped Jackson Hayes would end up being. But, I mean, you've got an all-star in B.I. You've got an all-star in Zion. You've got an all-star in C.J., who I know is getting older. You got an elite defensive player in Herb, whose offensive game has grown tremendously. I mean, Trey Murphy, you've got a shooter there. You've got 3-and-D with Trey. I think Hawk's a really good young player. so much of it to me feels like you just got to figure out a way to be consistent. And I know that's abstract and stupid, but you're leading your division. Like you should be a playoff team in the West this year, and you might even be a top 4 team in the West this year. But what do you do when you end up against OKC or against Denver or Milwaukee in the East? I mean, that's like what's the thing that gets you over the hump? I mean, we all talk about it. The Pelicans have one of the deepest rosters in the NBA. Maybe you don't have an MVP candidate, right? I think we're all hoping Zion would emerge into that. He hasn't yet. I mean, he's a phenomenal player when he's healthy and out there playing well, but maybe that's the thing that they've never had that they need, which is for one of these guys to develop into a legitimate MVP candidate that can take over games, which you don't have. I don't know. Ryan Calais, nice shirt, Matt. Love the old Hornets here. Thank you, man. Talked about it a little bit ago. Erica gave me this, our first Valentine's Day ever. Valentine's Day 2010, we were just dating. She gave me tickets to a Hornets game. She and I went to watch the Hornets and the Magic, and she gave me this shirt. Please smash the like button if you would. 281 still watching, only 103 likes, so we can get that higher. Appreciate y'all for being here. Subscribe to the channel also if you were there on YouTube. As always, shout out to Brock and Hudco. We got Hudco pinned in the chat. Have issues with your roof? We'd love to help you out. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Favorite Jason Kelce moment was the speech at the Super Bowl parade in his Mummers costume, dropping F-bombs, winning over Hard to Please Philly fan base. The guy's a legend. Scott Harrington, I get it. I think the average fan doesn't understand actual NIL versus collective. They just see NILSU hype. Yeah, no, for sure. Let's see. I know this question doesn't have anything to do with this live since we're in Louisiana. Does anybody know in the chat own or know someone that owns Gator Track's boat? If so, how is it comparable to fiberglass? I am definitely not your guy to answer that. Uncle Hoodat, what up? Must be living right. I'm catching you live again. That's twice this week. I'm going to play the lottery today. I always catch you later, hardly ever catch you live. Appreciate you for being here, man. Greg T, once platform is released, we'd love to see GameCoin advertising on AFR. Probably make that happen. But the net will cast much, much wider than just AFR and Baton Rouge. Reaper 08, Matt, if you could choose just one option, Natty in football or Natty in men's basketball and men's baseball the same year, what are you choosing? I'd still go football. I'd love to see one in basketball because I haven't seen it, but I would still go football. Just a bigger deal. And maybe I'm spoiled because I've gotten to see all 7 baseball national championships. Vaughn, please no backflips in your thong on the beach to increase memberships. No worries. I did a cartwheel one year. My 2 little nieces, they put me up. They were little bitty at the time, and they were doing gym when they were little, and so we were all side by side. We all did cartwheels together on a boomerang. I did pretty good actually. Not great, but not terrible. Scott Harrington. Let's see. By a tradition specifically as well. Yeah, you can do one-time donation to any specific sport you want to. But the point is, like, you can, I don't know if you're answering me, Scott, or you're talking to someone else. You can do monthly donations in the dollar amounts that they said. Antron, good morning. Are you going to watch championship games? Yes, of course. Well, we're going to, so the first game starts at 2. We're actually going to Mass today at 2 because they have like the diocese started like a sensory Mass for people with special needs. So it's at St. Jude today, which is where Erica works. So so that's at 2, and the game kicks off at 2. So we'll DVR the beginning of the game, the Chiefs Ravens, and it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a very long Mass. So so we'll take Drew over there, see how it goes. we'll do that. Then we'll come home, and then tonight actually is we're going to dinner for Erica's dad's birthday. So I'm sure we'll have the TV on wherever we go to dinner. Hey babe. But we haven't done an Ask E-Rock in a long time. Just saying. Let's see. Brady Dupree, wouldn't it be smarter Bike Traditions did raffles and auctions on game used apparel and equipment? All profits can go to the collective. Sure.
What?
So we haven't done Ask E-Rock in a long time.
What if I ask questions?
Anybody got questions for Ask E-Rock? Fire away. Carter 4, go Ravens and Lions. Barry, good morning. Make defense great again. Matt, do you think the announcement is they're just going to upgrade Tiger Stadium? I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't know why they would have done it on the LSU, like the university social media instead of like LSU football. I don't know. Cliff Nelson, good morning, Uncle Scone, Aztec Team Drew. Von Bluespin, Jared Addison, Juan, good morning. Walking into Mass. May all your bets hit today. All right, y'all. Any more? Thomas Bergeron, what's going on? Rick Kelly, Matt, did you talk about the cornerback from Westgate? Yes, that's where we started the show today. That's what's in the description for the episode. Jaboree Antoine, a top 50 player in the country for the class of 2025, said Corey Raymond returning pushed him over the top to commit. So that 2025 class, number one player in the country, number one receiver, number one quarterback, number one running back, all. Keelan Moses committed as well. Now Jaboree Antoine, top 50 overall player in the country, one of the top cornerbacks in the country out of Westgate, New Iberia, now committed. So they are rolling, man. Erica, we got questions. We got questions, E-Rock. Shout out to Brock, y'all. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Make sure y'all get on by, especially the Hammond Clinic if you're in Tangipahoa Parish. They're in Hammond. Okay. Oh, we got some Ask E-Rocks. Okay, good. Is trivia here? I don't know. Ooh, Cliff stole Trivia's question. Cliff. Hang on. Erica, they're waiting on you. I'm out of questions. It's all Ask E-Rocks now. I'm about to wrap this thing up otherwise. We'll go quick. Because now you got a bait. Oh, trivia is it? Trivia. Cliff stole your question, bro. Oh, you're making your coffee. Got it. Erica, come on. You want to explain to everybody how you make your... Can I show them? This is Erica's coffee.
It's caramel macchiato, iced. It's good. Really good.
So how did you make this?
It was not the traditional way. I didn't use a hot coffee.
No
I didn't
kidding.
use the Keurig. It's this caramel macchiato mix in milk and crushed ice.
This is what you give to Sophia every morning?
It's a little fancier than what I do for Sophia.
Little fancier. Okay, Merrick Mathern, Ask E-Rock. Merrick Mathern.
Oh, hey, Merrick. Sorry.
What's your dad cooking for his birthday?
He is not, but this week he cooked and sent us food for the whole week. And what was it?
Beef spaghetti.
Best spaghetti you'll ever eat. I'll never order spaghetti at any Italian restaurant because my dad's is so much better. Yeah, so we had spaghetti all week. But no, we're going to Homer's house for his birthday today.
Merrick Mathern, did that one? Murder Giraffe. Ask E-Rock.
Hi, Murder Giraffe. I hate that name.
How many TDs does Taylor score today?
Well, last week he scored 2. I think 2. Again, I give him 2.
Taylor.
He means Travis. 2.
Uncle Travie.
Chiefs Kingdom, here we come.
Chiefs.
We can serve swag in here.
Swag
Swag
you dork. Cliff Nelson, Ask E-Rock.
Hi, Cliff.
Any battles recently, and who wins the Super Bowl? See, he stole Trivia's question.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be any battles lately.
I don't think
Cliff.
so. Actually, I don't think I've fallen in a while now. I think
That's
about
good.
It. It's really good.
Good.
I don't know why not. It's weird. Oh, interesting. I don't know. And then
Who wins the Super Bowl?
Chiefs.
Chiefs ain't winning today.
Matt, you said that last week. And guess what happened?
Yeah.
They won.
I know, you're
Boom.
right. They did.
Travis had his best game in a long time. He's up for it again today. I just need Mahomes to throw better. I feel like his throwing's a little questionable, a little off.
His throwing is off.
Mahomes.
Mahomes? You want to remind everybody about the ref thing you were telling about?
Oh, so I informed Matt that the NFL is totally on the Chiefs' side because they put this referee in the game today, and he's known for giving calls to the visitors and against the home team.
That's what he's known
And
for.
so that guy, I saw his picture. I don't know his name.
That's what he's known for.
Davis or something maybe. I don't know. He is going to be reffing today. So all the conspiracy people are out. Like, oh, NFL's rigged it. Chiefs are going to win. I'm like, the Chiefs are going to win because they're good. Everybody's talking about Lamar. Who is this Lamar? I've never even heard of this Lamar guy.
Who is this Lamar?
He keeps seeing all these hype videos with Lamar in them.
Lamar Jackson won the Heisman Trophy.
Never heard of him.
He won the MVP.
Never heard of
He's
him.
going to win it again this year.
Never heard of him.
It's because you don't watch football.
Yes, I do.
Clearly you don't.
Clearly it's on
Lamar
every waking moment of my day.
LSU played Lamar Jackson in the Citrus Bowl back in 2016 whenever he won the Heisman.
Did nothing for me, Matt. I don't remember him. I remember a lot of people. I remember A.J. McCarron. I remember Texas A&M guy.
The Texas A&M
Who had
guy.
a lot of problems afterwards. What was his name?
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. I remember
So
Tula
both of those
Hula,
played it-
Tula. I remember
Tula who?
Tula Hula.
Tula Hula.
I remember.
Would that be Tua
Jay
Tagovailoa?
Hurts.
That'd be Jalen
No,
Hurts.
whatever. I
Who,
remember.
who plays for the Eagles?
Right. My other favorite team.
Your other favorite team.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do after Jason retires?
I'll still follow the New Heights podcast.
But you're not gonna like the Eagles.
Probably not. Was that a rumor last week about Travis retiring?
Well, yeah, it was a rumor.
Okay. Well, you validated it because you said that was a good
Oh.
reporter.
I don't know if it's true, but yeah, it was a good reporter. Who was it? I don't remember.
Some girl, Rebecca or something. I don't know.
Was it Diana Rossini?
No, some girl. Okay.
Von Bluesman asked E-Rock, now that it's over, how were your holidays?
They were great. We had great holidays. Drew was healthy for Christmas, which was amazing because he had been sick from Thanksgiving to Christmas, basically. So we were healthy and it was wonderful. Beautiful.
Cliff Nelson asked E-Rock, is the Baton Rouge Brock better than the Hammond Brock?
Why are you laughing at that?
So when I met with the Brock people a few weeks back, they really wanted to push their Hammond clinic. And so we've been talking about the Hammond clinic
Yeah.
here, and then like, how do you say, because I said, in Tangipahoa Parish, or in Tangipahoa, and then people like, only people who aren't from Tangipahoa say the A. It's really, it's pronounced Tangipahoa, and I'm like, well.
Oh, okay. I think the Baton Rouge clinic is probably better, Cliff.
Tangipahoa.
Well, Siri also calls Janae
Tangipahoa.
like Denanye. I mean, you can't trust her.
Well, that's not a real word. Okay, that's like they make.
Matt,
Well,
it's a real word.
Erica, it's her name.
Right.
And Linda admitted like she combined two names.
Okay. But I'm just
Do you
saying.
know any other human named Denane?
Not really.
That's the point.
Okay.
It's okay. It's a perfectly
Well.
lovely name, but it's like no one else has that name.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, Siri screws, or like, those recorders screw up a lot of names.
Tangipahoa.
Denanye. Danyen. That's
Don-
it.
Danyen.
Danyen. We have a friend named Denane, and Siri says, in the group with you, Erica, and Danyen.
It's so funny. I don't know why.
Ask E-Rock, will we have 6 more weeks of winter?
I don't know. It's been brutally cold, and I wouldn't mind it, but I work the carpool at St. Jude every morning and afternoon, so it's been a little chilly. And then Drew loves to go to the park on the golf cart, and that is what freezes me to death. Like, I've never been so brutally cold as I was during the ice storm that didn't storm, and on my golf cart, it was so cold.
Trivia Carter,
Good morning, Trivia.
thank you, E-Rock, for the Christmas card.
Yes, you're welcome. I was wondering when that was coming.
Well, you haven't been here in a minute and a half.
Well,
You sent trivia card.
I sure
You can
did.
make everybody else jealous.
I know.
Did you send him his Drew favor?
No.
And ask E-Rock, what's up with my Drew swag bag?
Well,
So you send the Christmas card and
I
not the
know.
party favor.
I know. It was bad mistake. Bad mistake.
Rick Manuel, ask E-Rock, what's the deal with a charcuterie board? I don't understand the hype.
You know, I don't like all those meats, first of all. They are disgusting. I agree with you, Rick. The meats are gross. I do like some cheeses, basically just Colby Jack and brie. I like to use a charcuterie board or
Charcuterie.
whatever. I like to use it just as like a snack tray. So I'll put all kind of stuff on there. I like to make a dessert board, and I just call them boards, first of all, because that other word is ridiculous. So I like to make like a dessert board and just have a bunch of stuff on there. But I do not like all those meats. Blech.
Julio Mendez, good morning. Jerry DeLucky, good morning. Hope you're doing great. Rick Kelly, ask E-Rock, can she do an impersonation of Matt doing "A Bama is Burning"?
No, first of all, no, I'm not doing that foolishness. No. I'm bad at impersonations, first of all. We all know that. I try to talk like other people a lot, and I don't sound like them. Y'all all make fun of me for that. And I don't do those ranting things. I don't do the stuff Matt does. Leave that to him. I can't. Stop. So, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Jonathan, ask E-Rock, Jason or Travis?
Oh my God, Travis by a mile, but I do love Jason.
What if Taylor Swift was dating Jason?
I mean, she's not. Don't do the what. Don't
Jason
do the what ifs.
is better than Travis.
Okay, we're not getting
He's
into this discussion.
Funnier. He's better on their podcast.
He is funnier.
He's
yeah.
got the family.
Yeah.
He's sort of an everyman.
Yeah, I love Jason.
Jason in a vacuum is way better. You just like Travis because he's dating Taylor. He's not actually that interesting. He's not.
You just are jealous.
I'm jealous.
Yes.
I'm jealous of what?
That he's got Taylor and you don't.
Would you like for me to leave you and then go pursue Taylor Swift?
If you were going out, if you left me for Taylor, I would be totally fine with it. Because you know why? Because she would like me and we would become best friends.
I don't think Taylor would become friends with my ex.
I think she would.
How's it working with Travis's ex?
Well,
from that TV
she's
show.
very hurt right now. She's hurt and she's acting not nice. It doesn't matter. I mean, keep her mouth shut. She shot her shoot. No, she shooted. How would it be the past tense of shoot your shot? She shot her shot.
Shot her shot?
She shot her shot with Jalen Hurts. Bet you didn't know that.
I also don't care about any of this. Not one iota. If Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are happy,
I know.
great.
I don't
Good
know
for
why
them.
people get so worked up about this.
But I don't give a good gosh darn about the two of them and their relationship or any of this
Okay,
stuff.
good.
And I don't know why so many people do care.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I also, someone earlier today was basically crapping on the fact that Taylor was going to be there and like ruined the game. And I went off on him. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do people get so upset? This woman's just there watching her boyfriend play football.
She is not she's not doing anything other than going to a game. If they want to get mad at people, which I don't even understand why people get mad about this, get mad at the commentators and the TV crew who's going to her. She's just there. She's not causing a scene. I don't get it either.
I didn't know different than, I was like when Verlander pitches for the Astros and Kate Upton sits behind home plate, so she's on TV all the time. Like, there's a bunch of, when Russell Wilson plays, Sierra's there, and when Tom Brady and Giselle for all them years, nobody got all upset about that.
Taylor being at these games is not helping her career. It's not like she needs this to boost her. She's fine.
Oh,
she's just fine.
Erica, the same thing's true about all the other people I just talked about. Cliff Nelson asked E-Rock, why do you never send trivia anything on time?
Cliff, why are you starting stuff this morning? Because I'm busy. I hate to tell you. Oh, Matt, you have no idea. You have no idea all the stuff I do in one day. You have no idea what I do. So don't shake your head at me and act like I'm not busy.
I didn't say you're not busy. The I'm busy excuse is the lamest excuse in the world because everybody has stuff going on. It literally is just making it a priority to put a stamp on something.
He asked me why. I wasn't coming up with an excuse. He asked me for a reason.
Because I'm busy.
Okay, well,
So
my excuse isn't good enough.
since Christmas, you've never had a single moment since Christmas.
I don't think about it.
That's the point. It's not that you're busy; it's that you don't think about it.
Like, as you know, I have to write a note to remind myself to do everything. I have calendars and notes everywhere, so like if I don't write
That's
it
the
down,
answer.
it's not going to get done.
So that's the answer. It's
Okay.
not that you're busy.
So I got
it's
to
that you
write
don't
it
think-
down. Then I need to go write it down. If it's not written down, it's not done. I'm very productive when things are written down. I like to cross things off lists. I
Now,
like to
that
throw
is
things
perfectly
away.
acceptable.
It's not
I'm
written
busy
down. So
is not acceptable.
well, I feel like that's why my brain doesn't think about it, is because I'm preoccupied with a million other things every single day. So my brain isn't thinking about that. It doesn't mean I don't want to do it.
Well, but that's perfectly acceptable instead of I'm busy. It's true, Erica. It's true. You don't have to be. You be mad at me, Erica.
not mad at
We
you.
got.
I'm
We got
not
some.
mad.
We got some good.
Okay,
ones
hurry.
coming
I got
up.
lots to do. I'm busy. Who's that guy on that interview that says that? Oh, Les Miles.
Les Miles. I have a game to prepare for. Ask me. I'm busy. Like damn strong football team. I'm busy. Have a great day.
Oh, does everybody want to know that I got to see Denny B Friday? Oh, I
Huh?
love him. Does everybody want to know that I got to see Denbrock Friday for one last final goodbye? Y'all, this man, we lost a huge one. We lost one of the best men. I mean, he's great. Saw Denbrock Friday for a hot minute. and
Mike Denbrock.
He is just, he's such a great human being. Like, take football. He don't have to coach another day of football in his life, and I still want us to hang out with him all the time. Like, it's not because of who he is or what he does. You don't even know that. That man is just so fun and just nice and laid back. My gosh. I miss that man. And again, I think he's a phenomenal coach, but I don't even care that he's a coach. Mike Denbrock, man of the year. Give it to him. Okay, next. And he was wearing navy blue, and I told him he did look good in navy blue, which was not creepy at all. But supposedly Diane, his wife, had gotten rid of, like, for their nephew was telling me that they had like a storage unit full of Notre Dame stuff from the last 2 times he's been there or whatever, and then she just got rid of it like this past summer.
Oh.
So he was
They'll
like,
give him new stuff.
yeah, I know they will. But anyway,
I did not get an update yet on Greg Brooks. Sorry. Trivia, ASCII Rock. Where's your favorite Lenny?
where has
I
Lenny
haven't seen Lenny in a
been?
minute and a half.
I was on Lenny's wife's podcast though, so we talked about him the day we recorded. But my second hour drops tomorrow, everyone.
2 hours.
Hour number 2 coming up tomorrow. Can't wait to hear it.
It's like an hour. Erica telling Drew's whole story, and the first episode, like I look and there's like 3 minutes left, and they're just to like Drew's, like the first week of his life.
No, it was
I'm
heart
like-
surgery. Have we done heart surgery yet? No, we've not even gone through the heart surgery.
I'm like, they're either gonna accelerate through about 9 months of Drew's life really quickly, or this ain't the only episode.
I asked him at the end, I'm like, oh my God, it's been 2 hours. I'm like, I talked way too much, cut out so much. And they're like, no, we're not cutting out anything. We love your story. I've had people reach out to me, Matt, on Facebook. And like, I listened to you. My daughter had XYZ. I mean, I've had lots of people reach out to me,
You
which is
should
really neat.
reminder, closer to the mic.
I need to slow down.
Slow
I
down.
talk so, not only do I talk a lot, I talk. So I couldn't even understand some of the stuff I was saying because I was talking so fast. And I just get, that's when
I
I
know
get,
you're doing this.
yeah, if it was a video, it was all over the place. My hands were nonstop.
This,
Yeah.
and I bet you were doing this. You were like leaning back to the mic. The mic was here.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So Erica sounds very far away from the mic. You can tell.
Yeah. Just turn it up.
All right. Merrick Mathern, ASCII Rock favorite king cake.
Plain. I don't want any filling. I don't want to bite into something and have liquid just go.
Liquid.
Ugh. It's disgusting. I don't have any filling.
This is the good one. Trey Guy, ASCII Rock. T-Bob or Terrio?
We've done this before. That's the stupidest question ever. We're not doing this
What's the answer?
because I love both of them for totally different reasons. They're 2 totally different human beings, first of all.
Yes, they're not the same person. I agree.
Well-
There are 2 different people. That's a fact. Yes.
You know what I mean? No, I'm not
Pick.
picking. No, I don't do that. I don't pick anything favorites. Nope, there's no picking. I love them both.
This is ASCII Rock.
Let's do okay, hair, T-Bob wins the hair battle. Oh, then Ryan? Sorry, dude. Well, Ryan. I love Ryan. T-Bob's hair is phenomenal. I'm obsessed with T-Bob's hair.
How could you possibly not pick Ryan?
Of course I pick Ryan, but I don't want to hurt T-Bob's feelings. Ryan's been around forever. Ryan's my guy. guy.
Well, then say that.
Okay, but I don't like picking things. I'm very neutral.
Dylan Hess, holidays aren't over till Mardi Gras is over, and Colby Jack is the GOAT.
Yes, that's a great cheese, isn't it?
Joseph Baggert, what up? Cortland Jacob, Trivia Carter. Ask E-Rock, who's your favorite baseball player this year?
I don't know any baseball players. That Tommy Hanks guy is still there?
It's Tommy White.
Oh.
Tom Hanks is an actor.
They call him Hanks or something.
No.
What do they call him that?
Tanks.
Oh, okay.
Tommy Tanks.
And what's his last name?
White.
Why do they call him Tanks?
Because he hits tanks, bombs, homers.
I've never heard it called a tank.
Okay.
Is he still here?
Tommy Hanks.
Is he still here?
Yes.
Let's go with him.
Okay.
He's got some flair about him.
Ask E-Rock, are you going to the Taylor Swift concert in New Orleans?
Well. Isn't that a great question? Yes, actually I am. Matt is getting me and Diane tickets. Hopefully he'll get 2 extras for himself.
This is such crap that I'm going to have to get tickets to the show, and I don't get to go.
I said you do get to go. Get 4. Or get 3.
What if I get so it's 2, I don't get to go with you?
We made a deal.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. We made a deal. So yeah, Matt's getting me tickets. Eventually, don't know where they're going to be. I'm asking for meet and greet, but that might be a little much. Yes, I am going.
The definition of spoiled. This one.
Yeah. I'm going. I just don't know which show Matt's going to choose for me to go to. I'd prefer probably the Friday night show. Not the Saturday. I'd rather do the Friday. Thursday's good. Saturday's okay. Friday'd be best. Matt's got some work to do. I keep reminding him every day. Every day, I remind him. Yeah. Okay.
Ask E-Rock, NFL or college?
College by a mile. I guess I don't watch enough NFL. It's always on, but I don't watch enough. So college.
Vaughn, ask E-Rock, is that why you locked up Matt's thongs so Taylor Swift wouldn't dump Kelsey and try to steal Matt away from you?
Tongs. No, I mean, if Taylor wants Matt, all for it. I'm all for it, babe. What?
Deuces. Go fly in a private jet, Erica.
She would want me to come with y'all. She would love me. I know she would. She's so sweet. Remember that dream I had? She loved Drew. She cares so much
This
about
woman has
Drew.
had dreams about Taylor Swift.
Not in that way, and don't start that. It was a Christmas time. Travis was dressed up like Santa. I was sitting on his lap, very appropriately though. And Taylor was it was some charity thing they were doing. I don't know. And so Taylor was asking me like why we're there. And I started talking about Drew, and she wanted to know the whole story, and I've told her everything. Yeah, she cared so much about him. Now let's back up, everyone. When we were in the NICU back 9.5 years ago, Drew was not a fan of physical therapy. He did okay with OT, but physical therapy was not a fan of. Physical therapy for one day, Shake It Off had probably just come out, or it was popular at that time. So one day we put on the iPad, Shake It Off, and Drew stopped crying during physical therapy. So from then on, every time his therapist came by, we put Shake It Off on the iPad, and he got through his sessions because of Shake It Off. It was very special to me. We would drive back home, our first Christmas, I'm at Target, I see a Taylor Swift Christmas ornament, the 1989 copy of the CD, and it plays Shake It Off. I buy the ornament to put on our tree because it was very special. We have pictures of Drew at cardiology appointments, getting through echoes. Matt's holding Shake It Off on his phone, so Drew's watching that. So Taylor Swift has always been a part of Drew's journey. He loves her. He calls her Taylor Swift Kelsey now because I taught him that was her new last name. He loves all her songs. Cruel Summer's a favorite of his. He loves Bad Blood now. So again, Taylor Swift has a different meaning to me, Matt. That's why I need to be at her concert. It's about Drew. Thank you.
I'm just such a load of crap.
It's not.
Ask E-Rock. Jason Mobile. Ask
Hi,
E-Rock.
Jason.
Chicken on the bone
No.
or hot dogs for the Taylor watch party today? Asking for a friend.
Okay, well,
He
here's the
knows
deal.
you well.
Here's the deal. The good thing about chicken on a bone, you can pull it off the bone. Because last weekend, whenever I was at, friends' houses, Keith's like, I got bad news for you. I got chicken on the bone. I'm like, well, you know what? We're just going to peel it off and you can take the chicken meat off the bone without having to eat it like a Neanderthal.
We got some good ones here.
However, a hot dog is never, ever, ever acceptable.
Ask E-Rock. Make defense great again. Ask E-Rock. What do you think about Kylie Kelsey? My wife thinks she's awesome because she's down to earth and not a typical NFL player's wife.
Love her.
By the way,
her.
I know a lot of people that play in the NFL who have cool wives.
Yeah,
So
you
I
should
don't
see
know
them.
that I would say typical NFL players.
Well,
like
no, the
it.
one you see being
Oh,
featured
maybe
in
so,
all
okay.
these shows. I mean, again, because of who they are, you would never know Kylie until all this started with the
Yeah.
Taylor and Travis's their podcast blew up because of Taylor. Because on the podcast he talks about trying to give her the friendship, the bracelet and all that stuff. So that's why their podcast blew up. So that's how you got to know Kelsey. I love her. I love her personality. I love her just go with it. I love that she's a girl mom. I mean, I love her.
Cliff Nelson asked E-Rock, Den Brock or Will Wade?
I mean, I have to go Denbrock here without a question. I don't know Will Wade. I think, in my mind, I like him. I might not like him when I meet him.
Danny Braywick, I need to find someone who talks about me the way E-Rock talks about Den Brock.
Oh, I know. You should be Denbrock then. Just be that man. Be that guy. If you're that guy, they'll talk about you. He's a legend. I'm telling you right now.
Cliff Nelson asked E-Rock, trivia, Lenny, or Cliff?
Okay, this is not happening. Stop, you all. I don't like hurting people's feelings. If I think I hurt someone's feelings, I take it personally. Like I don't do hurt feelings. I don't like causing any type of pain. No, I'm not doing it. Zero.
Kyrie Diggs, good morning, Unc. Love the shirt. Score prediction.
Oh, who gave you that shirt?
I've told this story 3 times on the show already today.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This is our first Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We gave me tickets to watch the the Hornets, and the Magic. You and me went, and I wore the shirt. You gave me the shirt.
Uh-huh.
And there was a little miniature basketball goal, too, which I still have in my office.
Yep.
Where you would take...
Valentine's is coming up, Matt. I hear you giving the countdown on your show about Lee Michaels. I can't wait to get my red box with my big black bow on it for Valentine's. You're encouraging other men to do it. Or Taylor Swift tickets would be just as acceptable.
Spoiler rotten, yo.
Matt, you always
Spoiler
claim
rotten.
you can get tickets to anything. I have never asked you for tickets to a concert, ever, in my life. To a concert? No. No. Not to a concert.
Garth Brooks?
You were getting tickets for everybody else, and I'm like, hey, can we go? You would score tickets for all these other people. And I'm like, what about me? Because I'm a huge country fan now, because country people are the
You ain't
nicest
listened
people
to country
ever.
a day in your life.
I do,
Until that
and
show.
they're the nicest people
Until
ever.
that
I love
show.
country folk.
Until that show.
They are so nice.
Trivia, E-Rock, you need to ask Cliff questions, and let's be honest, it's Cliff because he gets lemon cookies.
Okay, trivia. Cliff lives here. However, Cliff also made some custom Team Drew shoes, and once you do that,
He made custom teams.
I mean, anything
and
for Drew.
he fried us a turkey on Thanksgiving
Yes.
this year.
Well, I care
Came
more
through
about the
huge.
shoes than the turkey. I mean, for me, it's about the Team Drew shoes because that's just showing the love and support. Like when someone does something for Drew, I mean, it's over. I melt. I completely melt.
Melt.
I do. I cry. I mean, just like I love, some of my friends bought a swing for Drew. That's like Drew accessible, handicap accessible, basically for Drew, and put it in their house. Like I bawled crying. Like anybody who does anything for Drew like that means the world to me. So trivia, gets yourself some customs, Team Drew.
Jerry DeLucky, praying for you, Matt. Thank you.
Why?
That's what we were talking about when you were talking about the Taylor Swift stuff.
Ah.
And when you're talking about your dream and all this.
Oh, yeah. Well, you were in it at least.
Trivia. Wow, I never heard of mental gymnastics to justify going to a concert.
Mental gymnastics.
Why you had to go through all that to get there.
Oh, Drew. Yeah. See, again, it's all about Drew.
Austin Kidder asked E-Rock, who's your favorite Morning Scone listener?
Oh, I don't.
May I say how lovely you look today?
Oh, well, you just won, Austin. Even though you can't see what I really look like right
Jerry asked E-Rock, chicken on a stick or corn dogs?
now. Oh, chicken on a stick because I can peel it off the stick. I'm not eating any type of dog.
She got you.
Not eating any type of, I'm not going to say
Make
that word,
defense
but-
great again. Whoa, E-Rock on Travis's lap.
As Santa Claus, which everybody does.
Guy St. Martin, Taylor Swift. Really? You're talking about her on the air, crossing your arms and puffing out your chest? This was hilarious?
I don't know what that means. Is that toward me or you?
Me, maybe? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, okay.
Larry Connor, I prefer the Hornets to the Pelicans. Used to love those teal uniforms.
Yeah, I like the colors. I like the purple and teal.
The pinstripe, the white with the purple pinstripes,
Yeah.
the old day, like
Uh-huh.
Larry Johnson, Grandmama were awesome.
Who?
Grandmama.
Who's that guy? Grandmama. That sounds like some type of called like after dinner drink.
That's Grandma Ye.
But you said grandmama.
Grandmama. Larry Johnson played for the
Who
Hornets.
is this guy?
And he did a commercial series back in the 90s where he dressed up like a grandmother and he went by Grandmama.
This is ridiculous. Sounds like you're saying Grey Poupon. Can you pass the Grey Poupon? Okay, sorry.
Stephen Fry said Matt equals stud. Oh, no. I thought it was stud hubby. Stub hubby.
and
Well done.
that too.
Well done.
And stud hubby.
Well done.
He
Stub.
can be stud hubby once he gets me my tickets.
Trey Guy, Asky Rock gumbo or etouffee? My dad's seafood gumbo.
I mean, yeah, they're equal. My God, they're my dad. Only for my dad. I would never order gumbo at a restaurant or etouffee at a restaurant ever. And I would never eat anybody else's. Only my dad's. It's the best.
Merrick said it's E-Rock's world. We're just living in it.
That's right.
Trey Guy said ask E-Rock morning scone or AFR.
It's a tie.
Jerry DeLucky, it might be cheaper for the jewelry than the Swift tickets. It's actually true. Cliff, ask E-Rock, don't make me go find Austin, whoever he is.
No.
That's Austin Kidder, who's I've known since we were kids, and he lives in Las Vegas.
Tell
now.
me I'm pretty in a UN. That's basically how it is
Keith
here.
Walker said more Mrs. Moscona on here. She's very entertaining.
Mrs. Moscona. That's funny.
She goes by E-Rock. That's Erica, aka E-Rock. So, but yes, from time to time, E-Rock will pop on here on the weekends. Been a minute though. Randall, Matt, what do you say to the people who say Jay Johnson only won a national championship because the roster was full of pros last year? I say that every year there's rosters full of pros, and who recruited the roster full of pros, and people who say that are insecure and stupid, and it doesn't really matter. Chance said Kylie is cooler than Taylor. What do you think about that, E-Rock?
They're very different. So it depends on what your type is. You know, again, like what I think is funny and cool, you're not gonna think is funny and cool. Like I laugh at stuff on TikTok that you don't think is funny. So I think it's your definition of what is cool and what's fun. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Jason H, we love E-Rock.
Thank you.
Ooh, a troll just jumped in here. Max Kalina, who said, quote, Brian Kelly will take the Michigan job with laughing and clown emojis.
Next.
I
Next.
know.
Next. We're not doing this. I can go wash my hair if not.
Yeah, like Larry Connor, why is Matt's lady friend not showing herself on camera? The lady friend is my wife.
Larry Connor must be new.
And Erica only goes on camera if she's done her makeup and hair and all that stuff, so she's not going on camera otherwise.
Yeah.
So, and Max.
I want to be your lady friend though.
My lady
sounds
friend.
cute.
And Max, I said Brian Kelly would take the job if they offered it to him, and I also said very clearly that I had no idea whatsoever at all if Michigan had any interest in Brian Kelly. So, you're actually the clown for not taking a millisecond to look into what was actually said and believing stupid things that you hear or see on Twitter. So have a wonderful day. Blessings to you and yours. Cliff Nelson, ask E-Rock, if we're doing hot dogs and bone-in chicken, are we also including horseradish?
Nope.
And are the grill lines on the hot dogs?
Okay, I'll eat sausage with grill lines. There must be grill lines. No, if the sausage on grill lines, it is not fully cooked and it's disgusting. A horseradish, never. And we're not doing chicken on a steak. We're just picking that. If I had to pick that between that and a hot dog. What are you looking at?
Rick said, ask E-Rock is awesome. Love the dialogue. Laughing in Lake Charles.
Thanks, Rick.
And Jim Arsenault, good morning. Okay. All right, I think we're done.
Okay, great.
Thanks so much for watching, y'all. E-Rock is now referred to as Matt's lady friend. Y'all have a great day. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page here at the post. Y'all have an awesome day. Happy Sunday. And we'll see you. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.